Hey there, my friends. Welcome to the Dallas Daily Show. Happy New Year again, coming at you from the Neighborhood Loans Studios. It is January 2nd. This whole week, we are talking about not resolutions, but upgrades. Let's pop into the conversation. All right, my friends. So, this whole week, we've been talking about this idea of upgrade again, not resolution, but upgrade, a future version of yourself. You want to upgrade your hope and upgrade your outlook toward what 2025 has for you. You want to upgrade your actual self and who you are and believe you can be. Oh my gosh, it's almost like these are aligning with the four eyes. I wonder what tomorrow's episode will be, Taylor. So you're upgrading your hope and your intention. You're upgrading your focus of who you can be. Today, we're going to talk about upgrading your environments. All right. So, when you are old version of you, right? There are certain environments you used to be in. There are certain environments that used to mean a lot to you. And I'm not talking about just like, oh, that room always triggered me. No, no, no. I'm talking about environments of relationships. Like there are certain family dynamics, right? Environments, religious settings, a church or a synagogue or wherever you go. There are certain religious environments. There are political environments, right? There are social environments, relational environments, familial environments. There are all of these environments that sometimes they keep you trapped in the old version of yourself because the old version of yourself went into that environment. P.S. We should probably keep a counter at the lower portion today of how many times I'm going to say the word environment. No, there are so many ways that you would enter an old environment, and the old version of you would enter that thing, right? And what would happen is you began to be defined by the people or the connections in that room as a certain thing. See, with my family, for the longest time, I was the youngest of the family. I was the baby of the family for a really long time. And so the environment kind of put on me the definition of what I was limited to be within that environment. Let me say that again because this is an important part. Sometimes the environment puts a limitation on the identity of how you're supposed to show up in that environment. And for you then to show up differently later on is actually going to disrupt people like, well, who's this showing up now? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who are you to think you can do that? You've never shown up that way. You've never shown up with that much power. You've never shown up with that much authority. You've never shown up with that much comedy or whatever. Or God forbid you kept a boundary one time and you're like, hey, I don't do this anymore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You've never showed up with that boundary. You're different. Right. And so what occurs is when you try to expand, or as we've been saying this whole week, when you try to upgrade, when you enter back into that old environment in which the lower operating form version of yourself, I hope that sentence made sense because I should probably say it again. The lower version, the lower upgrade, the retrograde version of yourself went back and was originally defined in that environment. Now, if you re-enter that an old environment with the upgrade, the pull is going to be really big for you to go back and shrink back to your old self. So what we have to do now is we have to start thinking of our environments. We have to start thinking of how am I defined in all of these various places. There are places I have to show up and be the funny guy. That's what people want from me, right? Dallas is the comedian. Be careful what you say around him. He'll probably make a joke about it. Although now people are starting to say to me, be careful what you say around Dallas. He's probably going to talk about it in his podcast. There is a chance. There's a small chance. But the old environments will seek to shrink you back to who you once were while you are trying to upgrade to who you want to become. And what we have to do is we have to decide, A, will I allow the environment to shrink me? Or B, is it time to simply walk away from that environment and upgrade my environments as well? Now, that's a scary thought, that prospect of like, do I just no longer go back to those old feeding wells, those old environments, those old places? Because if you can't be redefined by who you're going to become, then it might be time to say goodbye to the things that defined you by who you were. I hope that makes sense. Taylor, is that making sense? It's kind of a heavy concept, right? It's only January 2nd, you all. I'm so sorry. I'm hitting you with big guns here this first week of January because I don't want you made the resolution or you got your keyword for the year or you're saying, yeah, Dallas, I'm going to join the Future You 5-Day Challenge and do the futureyou5day.com and upgrade who I want to be in 2025. And you're going to have all of this energy over the next couple of weeks of upgrading who you want to become. But then you're going to enter back into old environments that want you to fit back into the old mold of who you were. And I don't want that to be the case. Now, that doesn't mean you have to burn bridges with the relationships. And it doesn't mean you necessarily have to say, no, I'm no longer going back into those old places or having those old friendships. Or I'm not saying any of that. I want to be very clear. What I'm saying is this new version of who you're becoming has to be integrated into the old version. And it may be simply, I got to say to these people, hey, this is who I'm planning to become, or just become it. Maybe sometimes you just got to need a little break from the old environments. And then when you go into that and they're like, man, something's different about you. Girl, something's different about you. You're like, yeah, I'm really working to become this version of myself. So I'm probably going to show up a little differently today. And I know you guys will give me grace as I show up a little differently. It may be as simple as that. I have no idea. But I just want you to consider the environments that cause you to shrink, or the environments where you are predefined by somebody you no longer want to be. How can you upgrade those environments? How can you upgrade those relationships? How can you take this upgraded version of who you are becoming and go into those places? That's what I want you to think about today, my friends. The positive play call is this. I'm doing a 5-day Future You challenge, where you're going to get to know the future version of yourself. You're going to go and define all of the triggers who keep you trapped in the old version of yourself and the old trajectory of yourself. And I'm going to teach you an adaptability module of how you can overcome those triggers when they occur, because the adapt is going to be based on who you're becoming, the upgraded version of yourself. So it is the 5-day Future You challenge. Go to futureyou5day.com. That's futureyou, the number 5, day.com. Join me for that. Register to attend. Be a part of that. Get access to the videos if you can't join us for the 30, 45 minutes every day. futureyou5day.com. I hope to see you in that. But let's upgrade you so that you don't get pulled back down into old environments and into old self. I am with you. I am your champion, cheering you on, my friends, for 2025. And I hope you have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.